Hello, this is One Person Studio here. So this is my 18th episode of my coding game series where I solve algorithmic puzzles on the easy difficulty. So we're gonna complete this puzzle, dungeons and maps. So I know I'm gonna have to use strings, pathfinding, loops, and 2D array to complete this puzzle. So if I click on strings, let it load. Okay, it will tell us what it does. So a string is a data type used in programming, such as an integer and floating point unit, but it's used to represent text rather than numbers. So that's what it does. So they give an example right there: puzzle, I love coding game, and even the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But because of the quotation mark, it is considered a string. So that's what it is. And if I click on pathfinding, it will tell us what it does. So pathfinding is the plotting by a computer application of the shortest route between 2 points. It is a more practical variant on solving mazes. This field of research is based heavily on Dijkstra's algorithm for finding the shortest path on a weighted graph. So that's an example of this algorithm. So okay. So if I click on loops, it should tell us what it does. Yeah, okay. So a loop is a programming structure that repeats a sequence of instructions until a specific condition is met. Programmers use loops to cycle through values, add sums of numbers, repeat functions, and many other things. Loops are supported by all modern programming languages, though their implementations and syntax may differ. So the two of the most common types of loops are while loop and for loop. So that's a for loop right here, and that's a while loop. Also, there's another type called for each loop, but that's not as common compared to the for loop and while loop. So lastly, if I click on 2D array, it should tell us. No, it doesn't. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, so what is the goal to complete this puzzle? Alright, so my adventure path led me to an inn in a small forgotten town somewhere to the north of Golem Hills. After gulping the last drop of the 9th mug of elf wine, a shady old man materializes out of nowhere in front of me. So I start to doubt the wine. Okay, so the old man, throwing a pack of old maps on the table, so he says, "Do you want to earn some good coins?" I say, without looking at him, I've enough for food and wine." The old man says, "What about a whole inn?" Okay, I contemplate. Okay, so the old man says, "Yes, and you'll get the glory of being the first one to get this treasure." Okay, so I start to look at a bunch of maps and say, "But they look the same." The old man says, "Oh, do they? You must choose wisely." Okay, so the voice of the old man, out of nowhere, he says, "Alright, one more thing, beware of the dragons." Of course. So I grab my staff and sword and swallow one more whole mug of wine. Okay, well, it's glory time. So, okay, right, so I've given n maps for a dungeon, and each map may contain a path to a treasure, which is T, from starting position, start row, and start coal. So coal is short for column. So determine the index of the map which holds the shortest path from the starting position of to T. But be careful because the map may lead me to a trap. Okay. A path is marked on the map with up, down, left, right symbols. So that's what it does. And each symbol shows me to the next cell to move on. Okay. A valid path must start from start row, start column, and end on T, because that's the treasure. So the path length is the count of direction symbols plus 1 for the T cells. So that's the example right here. So that's the maps. 1, 2. Okay, right. So in the above example map, map 2, which is this one, does not contain a valid path from 1 to 1 to map. map 0, which is this one, contains a valid path with length 7, the count of the direction symbols, plus t, and map 1, which is this one, contains a valid path with length 5. So the answer is 1. Okay, got it. Okay, let's solve it. I like this puzzle. Alright, let's do this. So I'm gonna use Python because it's my favorite programming language to code, and let's look at the input. So line 1, which is this one, it's basically the width and height of the maps. Let's put it here. So line 2, which is the start row and start column, it's basically here. So that's the starting position on the map. And line 3, it is an integer for the number of maps to check, which is this one. And the for loop, it's basically this one. So each h consecutive lines are representing a single map. So each line contains w characters representing a row of a map. Okay, got it. Okay. So the output is basically the index of the map with the shortest path. So if there isn't a map with a valid path from start row, start column to t, the output will be trapped. Okay. Right. So this is the constraints. There always a t on the maps, obviously. If there are maps with valid path from start row, start column to t, only one map holds the shortest path. The given maps are representing the same dungeon, but the positions for t may differ. Okay, so 0 less than n is less than 10, and 2 less than w is less than h is less than 20. Okay, right, where do I start? Okay, well, we're gonna keep all this because it's quite important, but obviously need to add my own. So what I want to do is, okay. Right. I want to add. I wanna calculate the length. That's what I want to do. So let's do that. So calculate length, and I want to add the matrix. So yeah, I want to add the matrix. I want to add the start row. I want to add the start column, and I want to deep count. So let's start with matrix. Let's start row, start. Let's do start col, and deep count. Let's do that. And basically, if it's out of range, so if it's out of range, then let's do an if statement. So if start row is less than 0, or start row is more than len, matrix is -1, or let's do backslash start col is less than 0, or start col is greater than len, which is the matrix array 0. Then I'm going to return the len matrix and times that by len matrix array to 0, but I'm going to plus it by 1. Okay, that's it. So if I does not tell us. Okay, if I go on Google and let's say len python function. So what len is basically is to get the length of the given stray, array, list, tuple, and dictionary. So that's what it does basically. So if that's out of range, but if that's, I need to do for the end. So let's do, if it's end, let's do matrix, not that, start call, and let's do start row, and let's do 2 equal signs, which is T, the treasure. So if we find the treasure, let's return it to return 1. So because it contains a valid part of length, so the answer is 1. That's what we need to do. So that's the end. So, but if we find a trap, then we gotta do this. So if deep count is greater than len, matrix, and times that by len matrix array to 0, and then we're gonna return len matrix and times that by len matrix arrow to 0, and we're gonna plus it by 1. So that's what it does. Okay, so now we gotta add all the, so we're gonna add all the path, so up, down, left, and right. So but yeah, so we gotta add all of that. Okay, so let's start with the, okay, let's start with the up. No, let's start with the right. Okay, if matrix start col and start row. Oh no, it's not right. Let's do it again. So if matrix start col and start row equals to the right sign, then I'm gonna return 1 plus calculate length, which is basically this, and I wanna use the whole thing. So matrix start row plus 1, and I want to do start col and deep count, and I'm going to plus it by 1. So that's for the right method. So for the left, we're going to use a leaf. So a leaf is short for else if. So let's do a leaf matrix. Let's do start col start row. Let's do that. Ooh. Why is that? Actually, right. Okay. We're gonna leave that. I think that's right, but I don't know why. Okay, let's do equals let's do left. Okay, let's do that, and then let's similar to this, so return 1 plus calculate length matrix start row, but instead of a plus 1, it's gonna be a minus 1. And then we're going to do start col deep count, and we're going to plus about 1. So that's done. Okay, was that a mistake? I don't know. Okay. So we're gonna do it for the down method. So let's do a leaf matrix start call start row, which is equals to v. No, yeah, to v. So downwards. Let's do return 1. Plus calculate length, and then we're going to use the matrix, and then you start row start call, and we're going to pass it by 1, and then we're going to do deep count 1. So that should work. Right. So lastly, for the up, we're going to do if matrix start call and start row. It's kind of a lot of repetition here, but that's what we need to do. Which is equals this one. Okay. So after that, we're gonna return it. So it's pretty much similar. So return 1 plus calculate length, and then we're gonna use matrix start row start call, and instead of a +1 it's gonna be a -1, and then we use a deep count, and we're gonna plus that by 1. Okay, so that is done. But obviously, if we have to do it we have to do it else to finish it. So if I cannot go, if I cannot do this, like move direction, then we're gonna use the else method, and we're gonna return len matrix, and then we're gonna times that by matrix 0, and we're gonna plus it by 1. So that is it. Okay, so that's done. Right. I'm gonna keep this, the width and height. We're gonna keep that. I'm also gonna keep the start row start call, because we need for the starter position, because it already does that. I'm gonna add a matrix list, which equals to n0. I'm going to keep the n equals integer, because the number of maps, right? And then for the for loop, we're gonna, so before the for j range, sorry, we're gonna do matrix equals m0. Now for the for j in range, for the height, we're gonna list it. So we're gonna use list temp equals that. We're gonna do another for loop. So for row in map row, I'm gonna do list temp, and we're gonna append that by row. Okay, so and then we're gonna append it again by the matrix. So matrix append, and we're gonna use that by list temp, and then to finish off, we use matrix list append again by matrix. Okay. So we're going to keep that. Right. Okay, so we're gonna finish this off. We're gonna use the index, which is equals to 0, and then we're gonna do a boolean. So is trap is false initially. Oh no, sorry. A capital F. So after that, we're gonna do a min. We want the length, so length t, which is the minimum length of the treasure, which is equals to w times h plus 1. Okay. So for I in range len, and we use the matrix list. So for that, we can use a length equals to calculate length. We're going to use the matrix list, and we use the I. And then we're gonna use start call and start row. And we're going to continue using that. Actually, oh, I don't know. I think that should be enough. I think it's, yeah. I'm not sure. It should be fine. Then. Yeah. So for I in range, which is that, so length is calculate length. I'm gonna use a matrix list. Oh, I forgot one. My bad. Sorry. That's why. Okay. Sorry about that. So we're gonna use if statement. So if length is greater than w times h, then I want to use if trap is true. Then we're going to use an if length is less than min length t, then min length t will equal to length. Okay. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Wait. Okay, that's done. And then we're just going to use index equal I. So that is done. So to finish things off, we're just going to do an if and else statement. So if index equals to 0 and if trap, then we're just going to print it trap. So basically like this one. So we're just going to print trap. If not, oh my bad. So if not, so else, we're just going to print index. That's it. That's it. Okay. So that should work. I really hope so. Yes, it does. Okay, let's do it again. Okay. Let's submit it. Okay, well, thank you for watching this episode, and I know it's a long video, and hopefully the next boss will be shorter, and I'll see you there.